So today, I want to start by showing you a gift that I received from a dear friend. It's a snow globe with a statue of the Buddha inside. And I really love and cherish this. I love it because I can see the cloudiness when the snow is swirling, but underneath, I can also see the shine, which I think of as the essence of the Buddha, or really my own potential for shine and clarity. It's such a great reminder to me when my head is just swirling with a lot of thoughts and feelings, that there is the possibility of sitting still and feeling grounded in the midst of them. One of the reasons that I practice is because I want peace and clarity in my life. And I think that's why a lot of us practice. And sometimes it is really difficult to see the mind up close and personal and feel the agitation that it can create. And really sit with a feeling that's not either peaceful or clear. Some teachers compare the mind to a monkey. It's all over the place. It's holding on, it's letting go, it's jumping from one thought to another all the time. U Pandita, who is a Burmese master, has said that our minds are shameless. They'll do anything at any time and anywhere. And if we look for just a moment, it is so true. It's very humbling when we first begin to meditate to see how little control we have over our minds. And it's easy to think, if only, right? If only my mind would quiet, then I would find peace. Or if only my mind could stay focused, I'd feel clear. As if it's somehow the mind's fault. But the mind is just doing what it was made to do. The mind is not the enemy. The mind is not our enemy. What we really want is to build a relationship with our mind, to turn towards our thoughts mindfully, with care and maybe some interest. And even if we can only do this in little snippets without being taken away in a story, I think it's worth taking some small glimpses to get a sense of what the heck is going on in here. There's a Pali word, Papancha, which is translated as proliferation of mind. It's that quality of mind that takes us away from being present and really hooks us into stories. And it's really hard to let go of. I have a feeling we're all pretty familiar with this. These thought streams or ruminations, it's taught that there are 4 basic themes to them. And I just want to present them to see if they ring true for you. The first 2, I think we're really familiar with: desire and aversion. That's that wanting mind and that really resistive mind, that when we're pushing something away. And we see them a lot in our practice. And I think we're familiar with them. And then our minds can get attached to views. This is when we get caught in thoughts of, I'm right. Maybe by replaying an argument that we've had and we're trying to justify the position that we've taken. This perspective also includes all of our opinions. And finally, the 4th theme of Papancha is selfing. And that's how we proliferate in thoughts about who we are, how we're seen, what we want to be. This is sometimes something that can swirl in our minds, and it's sometimes simplified to thoughts of I want, I think, I am. How many of our stories can be summed up in one of these ways? I want, I think, I am. Create stories that are compelling and draw us in again and again, and in a way that makes it really hard to stay present with our experience. So I want to tell you a story where I have really experienced this. Frequently in the winter, my husband and I go with our dog to a very remote cabin that's off the grid in northern Maine. And we go when it's cold and the roads aren't plowed and we have to hike in. And we have no running water, no electricity. We chop ice to get the water. And it's peaceful and it's quiet and really lovely. So one night we were there and we had gone upstairs to sleep in the small loft above the living area and went to bed. And at about midnight, I woke up and I heard these noises on the porch. They were like these scratching noises. And I immediately started thinking about wild animals. And as I thought more about it, the animals got bigger and bigger. And I kind of had pictured in my mind that there was a bear on the front porch that had smelled our smoke and was hungry and was coming and wanting food. And I was a little wired about all this. And so I woke up my husband and we went downstairs together with our flashlights to see what it was. And we didn't see anything when we looked out the window at first. And then all of a sudden, a little head popped up in the window and then disappeared. And then the head popped up again. And we noticed that it was a dog. So I thought, phew, it's a dog. It's not a bear. And I had this moment of relief and I could feel my body relax. Until my husband said, why would a dog be out here in the woods all by itself? Where there are dogs, usually there are humans. So my stomach constricted again. My mind started racing. What would someone be doing in the woods at night? What would they want to be coming here? And so we hesitated for a while, not knowing quite what to do, until my husband said, if that was our dog, I sure hope someone would let them in. And so we did. We let the dog in. It was a small and very cold and very hungry puppy who was alone, who slept under my arm on the bed for the night until we could find his owner in the morning. So look what I had done. I had created story after story in my head. I'd gotten myself scared and tight, when the truth was there was a cold, lost puppy that we let into the cabin. Simple as that. So I want to offer, just in a juxtaposition, consider this. Ryokan was a 16th century Japanese hermit monk who lived deep in the mountains. He came back to his hut after a day of walking along the dirt paths, gathering alms for his food, and playing with local children, which he loved to do. And when he got home after dark, he found that he had been robbed. All that he owned was in this small hut, and it had all been taken. And this is the poem he wrote. The thief left it behind, the moon at my window. Isn't that beautiful? The thief left it behind, the moon at my window. He could have spun out, but instead he described it was present, the moon. There was no thoughts of I want, I think, I am. And something in that clarity is deeply moving to me. It might not seem that working with Papancha has a lot to do with metta, but actually I think it does. I imagine that Ryokan was infused with metta. And after a lifetime of practice, he lived from that place. And we hear that in his poetry. Metta helps us to turn towards our experience mindfully, without resistance, and hold it all with care, even our shameless and wild minds. And this sense of allowing helps us to stay present and not get hooked. So I offer an invitation to you to try this. When you find yourself having been lost in thought, when you're sitting, before returning to body and breath, just notice for a moment with kind eyes, is there Papancha? Are there thoughts of I want, I think, I am? It's no problem. No need to figure them out. Just notice it for a moment. And then gently and mindfully return to your body and breath. Making things known in this way takes away some of their power over us. And so we do the best we can. And of course, we're going to get caught in our thoughts over and over again. But beginning to get familiar with our minds in these small ways will help us to loosen the grip our thoughts have on us. So the snow globe is a really great reminder for me. It reminds me to ground, settle, soothe in the midst of the swirling snowstorm of Papancha. And I know that slowly, and sometimes really slowly, my mind will settle and I will find moments of peace and clarity. So I thank you all for your attention